edition of the Outlook on Click Naija online channel, where we break down governance and civil process in Nigeria in a way that's easy for you to understand. I am your host, Nasir Yunusa, and today we'll be diving into a powerful yet often overlooked democratic tool, the recall of legislators in Nigeria. Joining me to unpack this topic is Mr. Austin Ayibe, a development expert. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Follow us on our social media handle for X and Instagram at Click Naija 1 and for Facebook and YouTube at Click Naija. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Click Naija. A recall process or a recall referendum, recall petition, or a representative recall is a procedure by which voters can remove an elected official from office through a referendum before the official term of office has ended. Mr. Austin, please tell us what it means to recall a legislator in Nigeria.
Okay, thank you very much. Like you said, the name is a representative. When the representative is not adequately now representing the people can come together and then say, we don't want this individual to represent us again. Nigeria operates a bicameral legislature, which means we have at national level, we have the Senate and we have the House of Representatives. The same thing is applicable to the House of Assembly. The same is applicable to the local government councillors, elected councillors. All of those are representatives, whether at the local level, at the state level, or at the national level. To recall an individual, like you rightly stated, first, the process is not, as we just say, recall. I mean, it's not as easy as just saying it. There's a constitutional provision. So for there to be a recall, there must first of all be, number one, a petition to the electoral management body who conducted the previous election wherein that representative was elected. So that petition will be analyzed and there will be a set date for that petition to even be analyzed. A certain number of signatories of those who voted in the last election.
Wow.
How do you get those? It's very easy.
Okay.
Very easy to get those names, but not easy to get the signatures.
Exactly.
The signatures are not in the public domain. INEC has those signatures. So people are trying to recall using a case study that is very recent. Natasha is not the first case. We have had Dino Milai. We have had the guy somewhere from Zamfara also during the Obasanjo administration. All failed. You know why? Politicians who have an axe to grind with a certain representative, like you saw in a recent case, will usually go mobilize certain individuals that will come and write the petition, and then they grab this voter register. Voter register is at the domain of everybody. You have access to the voter register. It's online, it's everywhere. Politicians have access to every voter register. Every voter in this country, politicians have access to you. They have access to your pictures, your house address is there, but they don't have access to your signature. If you check your PVC, as you are listening to me now, check your PVC. There's no signature anywhere. What you see is the V number, your name, and maybe a barcode and all that. That is there. That barcode carry a lot from the behind the scene. So when you apply for a recall of a representative, what then happens for INEC to go and verify those signatures, and if they don't conform, they will return it back to you. The recent case, if you remember, INEC wrote to say you have not met the threshold. So they went back and do the threshold again and came back, and before you know what was happening, INEC said, well, you didn't fulfill the righteousness, and therefore it died on arrival. Because it was clear that if people wanted to recall a representative, are usually the opponent, not the people.
Okay.
In the Nigerian setting, it is usually your opponent, and the opponent also have voters. Don't forget, in that election that brought that representative, there were other candidates. So the representative eventually won. Maybe he won by 20 votes, 1,000 votes, 2,000 votes. But the other candidate also have votes. So when you go ahead to now collect all the other votes, all the other voters, and then you collect their signatures, if it doesn't amount to the total number that is required, I think in the last case it was about 250,000 numbers that would be expected, and then before you know what's happening overnight, we saw 250,000 people signature. But you know what? But again, one would have expected that there would have been criminal procedure from INEC immediately against those who submitted that recall proposal, so that you stop that kind of act, because it's not realistic.
Okay. Now, Nigerian Constitution provides the recall of legislators. Okay. What purpose does it serve for democracy?
It enhances democracy.
Okay.
So, democracy is supposed to be the best form of government. I use the word supposed to.
I wanted to say.
Because it's on the line.
Yes.
Because there are various kinds of democracy.
Yes.
We have an authoritarian democracy, Rwanda.
Yeah.
Pure authoritarian democracy. We have some form of laissez-faire democracy. South Korea is, they put some level of stringent measure in a way that if you want democracy to grow, you need the people's action. And that is why democracy hardly delivers on certain, maybe creation of something. An example, the Nigerian democracy will be very difficult, go and write this down, to create a new state in Nigeria.
Okay.
It will be very difficult to create local government in this country. You know why? Because it's a democracy. You must have a certain numbers. So for any state creation to happen, even if it has gone through the parliament, National Assembly has voted, talking about Senate and the House of Reps, they have voted, you then take it to 24 states for agreement. So you take it to 36 states, 24 must agree. So there are usually this new state you are creating, or this new local government you are creating, is coming from the state who doesn't want you to go.
Because you are shorting his revenue.
It's revenue. You understand?
Yes.
At the end of the day, there will be pressure on the government of that state to lobby other states to say, no, please, vote against it. They want to cut my state. They want to cut my state. It's not about cutting state. It's about enhancing development. But politicians are not seeing it in that direction. That is why I said democracy had, that's why I used the word suppose. So if you see a representative, I began by saying that the elected official is a representative. The whole notion about the representative is that in this room, two of us are here. And you know that these are your Click Naija does not have only you as presenter. There are all manner of presenters. And I'm sure that you have more than 10 guests you would have loved to bring in. But you just have 2 seats. It has to be 1 seat for the presenter and 1 seat for the guest. So I will have to represent all the guests. Then you will have to represent all the presenters. That's the whole essence of presenting. So by the time these presenters are looking at you and you are not doing well, by the next program, they will pull you out and get another person to present it. That is supposed to be the representation. So in this case, when citizens feel that you are no longer representing them, what is even representation? Most people don't even know what representation means. Because at the end of the day, representation in Nigeria today is that you are not doing the work of executive.
Yes.
If you don't provide borehole, provide electricity, provide road, provide legislature, parliamentarians are not supposed to provide all of this. But you start to pressure them to provide the things that is within the domain of the executive. Because before you see them representing you, the real duty of the legislature is to represent you for the good governance of the Nigerian state. What does that mean? Passing laws, ensuring policies that will help the Nigerian state to grow. Motions. If you let all these parliamentarians, they are hearing me now, let them go and speak at home that, my people, I passed 20 bills. My people, I moved 25 motions. Come and ask them for vote. Now motion with a chop. See your mates. So that is why, if you actually check, one of the reasons, very strong reason why the last recall was impossible, even though there were all manner of those fake aspects of it, was also that this representative has been doing executive function at home, providing those things that is supposed to come from the executive. So the people like her as a true representative more than the executive elected to perform that function.
Which is my next question. Why have past attempts to recall legislators in Nigeria constantly failed?
It does not fail, not just because I told you of the functions of legislature. To recall is an uphill task, unless it is highly politicized, to the point that all manner of the state architecture has to just agree against you. Look at Dino Melaye's case. Even Dino was even in the hospital when he, you know that thing that he put in it. I don't know whether it was real or fake, but at least it was there. And we saw him on stretcher, so they were rolling him. You know, Dino was not even very active, but the thing still failed. Why? To get signatures is not an easy task. Beyond that, it's also that if you look at your own signature, I'm sure you that is hearing me now, you are listening. The last time you went to the bank and signed one signature, they'll tell you, please sign again. Because it does not even agree with the one that is online. Signatures, as you get strong in your hand or feeble in your hand, your signature weakens. Sometimes you just, unless you want to be very meticulous, like those who sign for public view, you don't want to be changing your signature. Sometimes they have a way, you have to just be drawing it. I don't draw signature, I do my signature, and the moment I do it like that, if I do 10 now, they may all be different. All be different. And that will automatically be different from the signature on an egg portal. And don't also forget, when you register to vote, the signature is not with pencil or biro. The signature is with one pen, electronic pen. Go and check the signature on your international passport. And check your normal signature. They are not the same. Yeah. Because the electronic pen does not allow you to, where I come from, they say you silo, you just silo it. We don't allow you to silo the signature. But now, if I want to use my pen or biro, I will just silo the signature. But electronic pen will not allow you to do it. I mean, we all know this. And that is a pain. That by the time you collect these signatures, and by the time they are verifying it at the back end, those signatures may not even agree. But to get the numbers, politicians are ready to pay for it and get it. In fact, in the case of, I think it was House of Reps, I can't remember his name. Obasanjo wanted him out from the House of Representatives because it was like a thorn on his flesh, and it didn't work. I think it was the very first attempt on recall in Nigerian Fourth Republic. It didn't work because the people said no. But the government can create those numbers. Yes. When I tell you about government, government after God is government. If the government cannot even be, they are not even when interest or government aligns, like we saw in the last case, the government agreed, interest agreed to the point that the federal government went to court against that representative to tell you that the federal government had an interest, but it still did not work. Because to collect signatures will be an uphill task. And if you remember too, Dino's own even survived to voting. He voted. It was at the point of voting that I think he didn't get the threshold for recall. But for voting that the referendum, where people will come out and then come and confirm their signature.
Even for Natasha, I think people came out.
Did they get? I can't remember if we got to that point.
Okay.
Even if they got to that point, that's where you now get the verification now, because you must verify it. Okay. And by the time you verify, I'm just telling you, it is not going to be possible.
No. Let's take. Okay. How do you think political motive have played a role in previous recall efforts?
All of the previous recall have been politically motivated. Whether the first case I mentioned about the House of Reps, I'm trying to remember his name, huge guy, the name is in my tongue, but I can't just say it out. Then the second was Dino Melaye. The third was Natasha Boti Udwaga.
As if Kogi is always playing the...
And Kogi are two.
Yes.
Two of the three that the cases we have mentioned. And the two in Kogi is PDP. And the two is in opposition. And somehow, that can be a good research to take. Why Kogi? And I have my friends who are Kogi. Even some people around me now who are also Kogi. They could take that as a research course to go and find out why Kogi. the frequency of recall in the Nigerian Fourth Republic, a case of Kogi State. Maybe that would be a good topic. Because it's possible that the Kogi people, a typical Kogi individual, does not like oppression.
Yes.
And when people who don't like oppression, who speaks out, and who are so vocal, and if you check the two of them, they are vocal.
Very, very.
Dino Milai, vocal. Natasha, vocal. So could it be that there's a correlation between their vocal nature and their ability to stand for what they believe in, which now conflicts on the government of the day's trajectory? And when that happened, like I said, all recall previously, the first one, Passenger, was very behind it. Dino Melaye, we know the role of the now late Muhammadu Buhari, president, even though he didn't say it directly, but we know the invisible hand that moved the move. Then, of course, this recent one, like I just told you, is the National Assembly from the Senate President, but the federal government went to court against a representative for allegation of attended murder and all of that. Rather than wait, because it was a matter of the National Assembly, for a clear case of separation of power, I didn't think that the federal government, which is the executive, again, they'll tell you the federal government is all, whether it's the judiciary, is the parliamentarian, the National Assembly, or the executive, is the federal government. But we truly know, from all we know, that the executive is the federal government of Nigeria.
Okay. Now, what practical step can be taken to make the recall process more effective and accessible for electorates?
When an election is not even accessible and effective, how do you now go to the point of recall?
But that one is, it's an allegation.
Okay, I'm here to tell you, by the virtue that I haven't done work in the electoral system for too long a time, that the 2023 election to today has become a subject of controversy.
Okay, controversy.
So that's why I said
but the court
effectiveness.
Cleared it.
So when the court clears a thing, you see what the court does is political settlement.
Okay.
Particularly the Supreme Court. So are you telling me that the court cleared Imo State, where the person who came out fourth became one, came out first, is a true course of action? It's a political settlement from every evidence, and that is why the Supreme Court is often seen as a policy house to settle grievances and not for the purpose of law.
Your definition, sir.
No, of course, it's not Cliff Naija's definition. That's what I'm telling you. The Supreme Court, if you check, when the Supreme Court says that INEC does not have power to do this, meanwhile, INEC is doing it. Supreme Court cannot even penalize INEC for doing it. So what kind of policy is that? What kind of law is that? So you are saying that INEC says we will transmit this result online on our IREF, and they went on with policies and programs. They disseminated. They ran the election on that ground. Hello, they ran the election on that ground. Okay. Then after the election was conducted, midway, INEC said, "Oh, this road we are following, we don't want to follow it again. We want to stop this road. We want to go to another road." But there was a reason. What kind of reason is that? Okay. Whatever reason it is, that's very good. Thank you very much. The reason should be when you are going on a road and there's an hiccup, you wait and let everybody come and we agree on the path to go. And not to declare, it happened in Kogi now. INEC came out and said, we are not talking about INEC, we are diverting. INEC came out and said, okay, fine, fantastic. We are going to suspend the results because, you know, in the last election in Kogi, results were found in the hands of even presiding officers. I mean, written results of the election. And INEC suspended those areas and said they will review. INEC went ahead to declare the election without the review.
Okay, sir. Let's go back to that. So what step can we take to make the recall process more effective?
So it's to make our election more effective. Okay. I think that's the whole essence of this whole conversation. Until you make our election effective, that the persons who are elected are truly from the people. So when that person knows that the power, his or her power, comes from the people, that he did not buy election, he did not buy votes, he did not engage in political violence, that he truly won, and usually those who will win will be loved by the people, because that's what vote means. Vote means you are loved by the people and they give you their backing. So by the time you are not doing the right thing, these same people who voted in that election will come out and say, you are not doing well. And you will always see that harmony. But in this case, when there are divergent views, it is very difficult to recall. The best thing, you start with the election, make election credible, election integrity, free and fair, not free and fair. Both of them they start with F, but they are not the same. When people vote and their vote count, the representative will be so conscious that he needed to do the right thing. Otherwise, not just recall, by the next election, you can be withheld from going further.
Now, this will lead us to the challenges citizens face while trying to initiate or complete a recall.
Citizens, Nigerian level of civic education is very poor.
Yes.
And that is why you see all manner of vote buying. They'll tell you, hey, how much you bring? If you don't bring money, I don't go vote. I mean, sometimes I feel, because I've seen this like firsthand, where you see people gather together and they are discussing who is bringing the next money. In states, not to mention any states, I think almost all the states are usually culpable. So you see gathering, you see small, if you go to polling unit, you see small pocket of gathering. Each of them are discussing the election. How much party A bring? Now 20,000. For what now? For what? Where party B they bring 30? You see negotiation happening. And some will come to the polling unit and end up going back and not voting because nobody bought their vote. So when you have that poor level of education, that I'm here to sell my vote, like I always say, a woman told me that, well, now the 20,000, because I don't go see them again. By the time this one now, I said, but 20,000, how long ago to use for you? She said to me, and I didn't blame her. She said, my brother, if this one not come, even though I vote the other one, this one I collect, so you know, will see come. So we have come down to a level where people no longer value those who are elected. They wait for the next 4 years to collect their 10, 20, 30,000 naira for the next year to come. You know, we have done a lot of advocacy to try to break down what they collect. So if you collect like 20,000 naira to vote, if you break that down for 365 days times 4, that 20,000 naira become very minimal or very useless. But the woman said to me, said, my son, come, this 20,000 now, they go cook food for 2 weeks.
She don't throw the vote, sir.
You understand? So that means that the next 2 weeks, even when I check myself, but after 2 weeks you come, he said leave her. But what of these 2 weeks you want chop? And sometimes you have to listen to the people. We cannot blame them. Politicians have weaponized this whole thing.
Before weaponized poverty.
They weaponize poverty. That you need more poor people to vote in an election, because most of us, including you know, great men living in Asokoro, driving good cars, what they do most of the time, they run their own government. You know what rich people do? Rich people run their own government. Yes. Go to a typical rich man's house. I'm not talking about very rich, stupendously rich. An average, he has a fence compound. He has a borehole.
He has a solar system.
He has a solar system. You included that one because you know that band is very expensive. You know, he has all the things. He has security men in his or her house. They have dogs, and they will come and collect police. The security men I'm talking about is not police. You see mopo 2 or 3, or policemen in uniform, or soldier with a gun protecting. That's government. What is the function of government? The welfare and security of the people. So when you are not the one providing those welfare and security for yourself, you are not government. So why will you need to vote? It is the poor people who cannot provide the welfare and security for themselves that end up voting. And they are the ones who can easily be bought. You see that theory? That's the bane of democracy in Nigeria.
Now, given the hurdle, do you think the recall process is realistic or more of a symbolic right? I
think it's symbolic right. Let's just go straight to the point. It's symbolic right. It's not realistic. If you the hurdle that you need to cross, but those hurdles are there to also protect the legislator. Okay, it's like asking me the question about immunity. That why do governors have immunity? Why do the president have immunity? Otherwise, the governor will be walking on the street one day, they will arrest him or arrest her. The president will just travel out of the country, they will arrest the president out of the country. So you need those immunity to safeguard the sanctity of that position. So the law recognizes that the representative can be recalled, but it should not just be you wake up in the morning, Joshua, Honorable Joshua, come back, your boy is calling you home. No, it cannot happen like that.
So your last word, sir.
I think that Nigeria will need to build on our democracy, strengthen the architecture of our democracy, particularly the institutions of democracy, law enforcement, the judiciary, the executive, the lawmaking. Once we have those stability and each of them being independent on themselves, Nigeria democracy can improve, thereby improving the recall process. Until Nigeria have a free, fair, credible election, in a way that the right person wins the election. I use the word
right.
Right. Meaning that every other thing constant. There is no political violence, there is no vote buying, there is no manipulation from election management body, that the election just went vroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And whoever emerged, recognizing that he or she emerged from a due process, will be afraid of recall.
Thank you very much, Mr. Austin Aibi, for shedding light on this critical aspect of civil engagement. And to our viewers, remember, democracy doesn't end at the ballot box. Tools like recalls are designed to keep our leaders accountable. But it's up to you to stay informed and involved. To my producer, Rotimi Martins, Abdullahi Dauda, and my supervising producer, Ehi Ohiani, I say thank you. I'm Nasir Yunusa, and this has been the Outlook on Click Naija. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and on Click Naija online channel. See you next time.